proxy design pattern. It's similar again to the adapter and similar to the decorator. Not the same. And again, I'm going to change the way we're doing some things. Different set of classes. The animal doesn't really lend itself to this stuff. Let's make a fictitious web browser. So we're going to try and connect to two different sites, bcat.ca and dangeroussite.com. So we're going to have to imagine a few things for this one to work, but it's fine. So we're just going to, simply when we go to connect to it, it's going to print out that we're connecting to it, then we're going to connect to it. Let's pretend in here we have some sort of network objects. Network connection. Okay, so let's say there's a class called network connection. We'll call it connection. We'll make it private, final, all that fun stuff. And we have a constructor. So the difference between a decorator and the proxy is the decorator would take a network connection, we'd wrap it. In this case, typically, a proxy is actually going to do its own thing. Do whatever a network connection does, right? So again, I'm not going to make a complete web browser all here, so we're pretending, right? The network connection class doesn't exist. It's a fictitious thing. So we've got this network connection. We make our own network connection. If it were a decorator, we'd be or an adapter, we'd be passing it in. So that's the main difference here. So then we're going to connect to this, and this would presumably use the connection to connect, right? And do whatever networking thing it does and display the web page and all that. So let's go ahead and run this. And we can see it's connecting to BCIT, and it's connected to it, connecting to the dangerous site, and it's connected to it. What I want to say is, in this proxy, is actually, really, we'll do a very simple version. We can improve on this another day, not today. If the string equals, what did I call it? So if the string equals that, just throw a new runtime exception for now. We'll be better than that. We'll do an illegal state exception. We'd probably throw some appropriate exception that's like you can't connect to site or whatever. Now when we run it, it actually doesn't let us connect, right? We're trying to connect and it throws the exception. So the proxy, again, allows us to change the runtime behavior of things. The only real difference between it and the decorator pattern is that we don't pass the object in here. where, this is a simplified example. Places where this works out quite well is things like a database. So we have a proxy to the database, and we create a database connection in here, and all of the things get forwarded to the actual database. Another one is remote objects. So you have a class here that exists in the current machine, and it deals with all sorts of networking to actually make the calls to a thing that exists on a whole other server. So to your program, it looks exactly like it's just a local thing, but it's actually using the network to go off and make the method calls and all that kind of stuff. Way too complex to actually show you here, but this hopefully gives you the idea. It's really important to understand the decorator pattern to understand this. The only difference is this doesn't take a parameter, the other one did. That's really the gist of it.